Holy shit, Matt. What would you buy if I gave you 68.7? Screw it. Let's round it up. $69 billion.
Nice. I would buy the Gamers 2 podcast, your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest, like mergers and acquisitions.
That's our official announcement. We are buyable for $69 billion.
Nice.
I don't know what we would do if that money existed.
If someone genuinely was like, "Oh, here's $69 billion for,"
if somebody offered me $100,000, I wouldn't know what to do, and that's many less zeros.
Yes, many less zeros. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in shock. I'm in shock of this week's news.
I mean, we'll get there.
In shock.
It's going to be. We got some other things we got to cover first. We'll get there. It's just there's a perspective that I think everybody went, "Oh man, that's crazy, haha!" But you don't understand how crazy that is. So we need to have a reality check with some of you people.
But first,
things such as new releases. If you wanted to spend $69 billion other places, you could buy games like Expeditions Rome for the PC. Matt?
I forgot that was coming out, but
then never mind.
I might play it.
Hitman Trilogy for the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Play all three Hitmans. Hitman's good games. Those new ones were something about throwing the suitcase at everybody was just so good when those came out.
The broken, very, very broken suitcase.
Yeah, the suitcase, but then I think it was the F1 track where you dress up as the flamingo mascot and throw a suitcase at everybody. Great times. Number 3, Rainbow Six Extraction for the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Matt and I will see if we play that. Startup Panic for the PC. Is that a fourth wall breaking game? Startup Panic? Did they make a startup and then panic?
Too real? Maybe it's a startup simulator.
Maybe indie devs shouldn't play the game.
I was trying to do the math of how many video games you could buy with $68.7 billion. Did you know that the iPhone calculator will not go that high?
Well, they've never had to think about making an acquisition that large.
Well,
number 5, Warno for the PC. Number 6, Windjammers 2 for the PC, Switch, and Stadia. Number 7, The Company Man for the Switch. Matt and I are not the company men. And number 8, Strange Horticulture for the PC, which, if anything on this list has made me want to at least look at it, Strange Horticulture.
What are you doing?
That is the building that every state fair should have.
I am a big fan of horticulture building.
Yeah, but I want the Strange Horticulture building.
Okay.
Or at least a wing in the horticulture building that's just labeled Strange.
Strange. Probably be the most popular one.
Oh yeah, it'd be impossible to get through. I think I should take odds.
You must do what you feel is right.
You must do what you feel. All right, number 1. Awesome Games Done Quick raised $3.4 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. It's the largest donation raised in the event's history. AGDQ 2022 online was also the fastest to reach the first $1 million in donations. I think it was Wednesday when they did it, which was Wednesday or Tuesday night maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're at $1 million.
I feel like they've definitely gotten more popular, I feel like. I also feel like the idea of speedrunning a game has become more mainstream. If that makes any sense.
I think it's become more mainstream, but I think the it'll be interesting to see how Summer Games SGDQ does, because I feel like AGDQ, even the last couple of years of the online, that's had the bigger draw than Summer. But Summer also might gain tractions in this year. There's a chance you might be able to see like a Halo Infinite speedrun, or there's been more games that are coming out, so more modern stuff has kind of been leaking into them where it hasn't been the same thing over and over, and like things have changed,
which I think is a good thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we need. You can only speedrun
do you know what
the
process
games so many times.
Yeah, do you know what the process is for getting into like?
You do a submission video.
Okay.
So
I wasn't sure if it was that easy.
Similar to when we watched Crossbeat. Oh, what's the rest of that name game? Crossbeat Rev 5 or whatever that name of that game was, where it was the touchscreen arcade.
Yep.
The video we watched was their AGDQ submission video.
Okay.
So it was him playing with the commentators of like, this is what we would like to show, and then they submit it, and then the panel of whoever picks from all of these runs of like, does the game make sense? Is it something we haven't seen before? Has it changed enough? Is it engaging both from a commentary standpoint and like the game itself? Blah 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 blah.
So someone could submit a speed run of like really any game as long as it met the criteria.
Some of them already made speed runs. Like that's not a speed run.
Yeah, that's
a showcase of like this
speed,
game that exists
kind
and
of.
The difficulty that it takes to play it. There was a Rocket League 1.
Okay.
Where they were showing custom maps. It wasn't even like a speedrun. It was just custom maps inside this Rocket League editor that I didn't know existed because I haven't paid attention to Rocket League since it came out.
That's pretty neat.
And they were nuts. It was just basically you'd start the map and start flying, and you had to they were navigating like through rings and a bunch of other stuff, and it was like
so essentially made like almost like a game within a game.
Yeah, basically. So they were showing off community maps for like 30 minutes to an hour.
Nice.
So there's a lot of ways you could still get in there even if you're not necessarily a speed run.
It's kind of fascinating, even if you're just like if you play video games as a hobby or whatever. It's fascinating to watch regardless, because like it's not something that I'm inherently interested in, but like it's interesting to see a different community that is so passionate about that specific thing.
Yeah, I think 2 of my favorite runs. You know what? 3 of my favorite runs. Halo 5 Guardians was a fun run. Halo 5 Guardians or Halo 4 Guardians? Halo 5. Halo 5 was a fun run.
Yeah.
I think Guardians is the subtitle on 5.
Yeah.
It was a fun run because it was just interesting to see a lot of
the Halo Infinite. If they ever do a Halo Infinite speedrun, it's
Halo
ridiculous.
5 and some of the other Halos were also interesting because you have to just constantly murder the AI. Like your AI teammates. Because if they start talking, it'll trigger, and it's not until they stop talking that like the level progresses. So if they
you gotta kill them.
So if they never start talking, the level keeps going. It Takes Two. It was an amazing speed run to watch. 2 people.
Yeah,
because you have to have one play each.
Yeah.
And watching that, I haven't even played the game yet, but watching them play it, I was like,
awesome. I'm kind of surprised. Like I never would have thought that there was all those little weird like. Broken chunks between the levels and stuff.
You need to. The video should be up now because of when we tried looking for it last time. It was too recent, but the video should be up now, so you should watch it at some point. Maybe watch it with Sam of just like, why weren't we this fast? Idea. And then like shame her. But there's a moment. So when they're flying the plane out of the tree, there's a moment where you can clip straight through the side. Like there's this very very small gap.
Okay.
If you get it, it saves like 30 seconds, but if you miss it, you lose 45. So it's like a real...
You gotta hit it the first time.
Do you want to go for it? And they go for it, and they nail it. But you end up just turning like a hard right turn and like shooting through this very sliver, and then you are flying in the void. And you can kind of see basically just giant cubes, which represent other levels and like worlds. So it's them almost flying blind, essentially, it looks like, for... a minute or 2 trying to make sure they're going to the right spot to then end up dropping back into the world. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then the other one, I'm going to mess the name up. I want to say it was called Pumpkin Jack. I don't remember if that's the exact name, but it was...
Nothing I've ever heard of.
actually, I gotta shout out another one too. It was a very fun run to watch. The guys were very good at commentating it, and there was some weird tech where you could jump on top of a lamppost and start doing a like whirlwind spinning attack, which would cause the lamppost to shake. But when the lamppost would shake it and everything else, the physics ended up basically catapulting you. So you would just hit terminal velocity and be shooting across the map to avoid whatever. And it was just very cool to watch all of that. And then the other one, and he's one of my favorite ones to watch and like listen to, is Froob is his name. I believe Froob McGuffin maybe is out there for a Twitch shout out. But he does a lot of the Yakuza games.
Okay.
And he's very good at not just the run, but like you watch for the run and him. His commentary, he doesn't need a couch, which is usually the other people commentating.
Yeah.
Doesn't need that. He has it himself. He'll take care of carry the whole thing by himself. Very good to watch.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's some stuff to check out for the summer one coming up.
If you want to start watching them now, I'm sure they're all up on YouTube on the Games Done Quick channel. They should have almost every run that they had that week if you want to see what they looked like.
All right, number 2, digital board game Pandemic has been quietly removed from sale across Steam, the App Store, and Google Play, and is set to be delisted from other storefronts in the near future. A notice on the game's Steam page states that the title is no longer on sale, quote, at the request of the publisher, end quote. The publisher's statement is a tad ambiguous as to the specific reasons, only stating that there is multiple reasons. I'm assuming it's COVID related, but
because of COVID,
you know what they say about assuming.
You're usually right.
Whoa,
is that what they say?
I don't think so, but we'll go with it.
All right, cool. Number 3, Meta is currently being investigated by the FTC over potential anti-competitive operations, according to a new report from Bloomberg. The concern is that Meta could be utilizing its market power to stifle other businesses in the VR space. The investigation seems to be focusing on how the Meta Store handles third-party VR software and the pricing of their Quest 2 headset. Multiple developers have expressed complaints to Bloomberg about Meta's control over the ecosystem of its VR devices. Meta about to start looking like that Apple issue.
Yeah.
So it begins.
I'm curious how that works with anti-competitive stuff, because they said that they were looking at their pricing of their Quest 2 headset. So, like, at what point, I feel like that's a weird gray area, because, like, if you're a massive corporation and you could take the hit and sell headsets at a loss and just eat it, is that anti-competitive because you're basically flexing? It's like a weird gray area, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess the bigger issue is the software angle, probably.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's just the headset pricing side is weird.
It's just weird. It's almost just like they want to complain.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, they're selling them at a loss, but you guys are selling them at a 300% markup. So
yeah,
I don't know, maybe middle ground, you two idiots.
The store thing, I feel like it's just going to come down to like if they can prove it, because like
yes,
I feel like at this point, if you're like it's almost, I would be surprised if they weren't
messing with it.
Yeah,
no, I agree. It's Facebook, new face.
Yeah.
Oh, they're definitely not messing with it.
It's the old, you know what it is? It's I didn't put it in here, but it's they're kind of doing the Amazon thing. You know how like Amazon's like I don't know how widespread it was known, but they were accused of basically copying products and then making an Amazon Basics version for cheaper.
Yeah.
That's happened a few times with VR software on the store.
I can see that.
So
Shocking.
Yeah. Surprising. Number 4, TT Games employees have accused the Warner Bros. Owned Lego studio of planning around excessive crunch, bullying management. That's kind of weirdly said. Management that is bullying, I believe is how it's supposed to be. And power. And,
not them bullying management.
Yeah. And poor decisions that have wasted work and worsened other problems at the studio, according to a report from Polygon. The site spoke with more than 30 current and former TT Games employees who voiced a number of concerns and complaints about the way the company has been run. The series of complaints are exactly what you would expect, as we've heard them before from other poorly managed developers. The one that caught my eye was the management's decision to create a new in-house engine for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, which has been in development for 5 years and delayed 3 times. The engine is reportedly not going to be used in future games, with the studio switching to Unreal Engine. And also news this week, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga will launch on April 5th.
Until they delay it for a new engine.
Yeah, again.
I'm so shocked by the whole story.
I don't understand. That whole thing blows my mind.
Which part? Or
The
just
part,
the whole thing.
The new engine thing.
Yeah.
It's a Lego game,
right?
Like, what do you need your own engine for? Which I think is the point here.
Yeah,
obviously.
Well, I mean, what do you need your own engine for when you could just honestly pull the stuff you ran it on GameCube with and do it again, and no one would even question it.
No. Come up with a fancy upscaler for 4K.
How has the Skywalker Saga taken 5 years? Like, how?
Especially when you have... How many Star Wars games have they covered? Like, not only do they have...
They already had 6.
Yeah, not only did they do the trilogies, they also did a complete edition.
Yes.
And then the saga. So really they had to worry about 3 games.
They had to worry about 3
movies, I should say.
Yeah,
that cover 1 game.
3 quote new games / movies, and then up-resing the old stuff to make sure they were all, visually the same. How do you take 5 years?
What's going to be even better?
The answer is horrible mismanaging, 3 delays, and trying to make your own engine for no reason.
What's going to be great is the whole time it's going to be they were just building the engine. So like the 6 games are going to be identical to what they were. Everyone's going to be like, what the fuck?
You'll only notice it in the 3 new ones, and it's because one of them is broken.
Exactly.
Something went wrong in one of the 3 new ones.
Yeah. Oh my god, I can't wait now. Even more excited. Really.
Number 5. I suppose we should jump into what could be the news story of the year.
Perhaps even the decade.
Honestly, there's a solid chance both of those are true, and we're 2 years into a decade, and I'm not even a full month into the year. I feel confident of that statement as well. Oh, I 100% agree with you. I mean, this would be... Anyway, news story of the year. Microsoft is acquiring Activision Blizzard King for $68.7 billion. And there's a lot to talk about here, so in no particular order, we're going to go through some stuff. Anything before I start?
Not really, unless other than logistical stuff. If you want me to tag in at some point to read some of this, let me know.
If anything, I'll let you know. Probably not. Maybe. We'll see. Depends on how fast I want to give up. $68.7 billion. Bethesda and all of ZeniMax are cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Take-Two's valued at... Take-Two, which owns Rockstar, 2K, and a bunch of other shit, including Zynga now? Or is that Tencent? No, Take-Two.
Yeah, Take-Two, I think.
Take-Two would put Take-Two's valued around $30 billion.
Do you remember what the Bethesda deal was?
12.5?
Yeah, that sounds right.
NVIDIA, can you look up that one?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
I believe NVIDIA's purchase agreement for ARM was $40 billion.
Yep, that's correct.
NVIDIA buying the world's largest chip manufacturer was $28.7 billion cheaper than a studio that has released maybe 3 games in 5 years.
The other one that always, which I think you mentioned it in the Snapchat conversation, is the Star Wars. The Star Wars LucasArts, Lucasfilms deal.
Yes.
Which Disney bought for $4 billion.
Yes.
And we're talking
that's Indiana
Lucasfilms,
Jones. Yeah.
Industrial Light and Magic, which has done special effects for basically every major movie that's come out in the past 20, 30 years.
Which includes literally the entire Star Wars universe, includes Indy.
Yep.
And included the Lucas game stuff, everything that they,
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, they canned a bunch of it afterwards, but it included all of that. It included billion-dollar franchises, and it couldn't even hold a candle.
Yeah.
This was like 15.5 times more than what Star Wars is worth.
Yep. And I think for reference, they paid, that's 45% more per share of what they were trading, what Activision Blizzard was trading at the time.
Yeah.
So, crazy.
$68.7 billion.
It's a lot of money. It's a big deal.
And Matt and I aren't positive. Somebody would have to go back and listen to our old episodes. And we're not going to do it because we can't listen to ourselves. We're not positive if one of us made this call or not.
I feel like it was mentioned at one point as like a crazy thing.
I feel like maybe we did, of just like, haha, man, Microsoft.
You know what I remember?
Microsoft's buying everybody. Wow, wouldn't it be crazy?
I think at one point we brought up the idea of someone buying Blizzard off of Activision.
Oh, of separating them? Maybe that's what it was.
But when we were going through our thing of like, oh, someone needs to save Blizzard.
Yeah. I don't know. It was one of those where we saw the news, and I don't know about you, my first thought went, woo, hope. And then my second thought went, oh, no, did I do that? Because the way that we've done things on this podcast of make a statement and then 2 weeks later it comes true is scary.
It's the power, man. It's a simulation. It's insane.
So, there's just small things to notice, like a small $68.7 billion transaction. That includes all the support studios, so that includes things like Vicarious Visions and everybody else.
That's the thing that's kind of crazy about it, is just how clean it is. Because it's straight up everything Activision, Blizzard, King. Everything.
Yeah.
Like he's saying, all the support studios, all the employees, everything. And I believe...
King, like the forgotten stepchild.
Yeah, which also immediately makes Microsoft, I think, one of, if not the biggest player in mobile.
Yeah. And also gives them a gigantic Asian market.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure it's an all-cash deal.
Which is disgusting.
It's stupid.
Screw robbing trucks of graphics cards. I'm going to rob the truck that has $69 billion in it. Like, oh, God.
It's crazy.
Can you, while you're looking things up,
yeah,
just for sake of our conversation, I need you to tell me what the highest valued sports franchises are. I know there's a list, because there's a list that comes out every single year, and it's usually like Cowboys, Yankees, Giants, Mets, whatever.
World's Most Valuable Sports Teams 2021 from Forbes.
Yep, that sounds right.
Okay. Can we get to the list, please?
Yeah, here's... My grandmother used to say that if she really baked this list with love and care and...
Number one, I would not have pegged them as, but...
Cowboys?
Should I start at the bottom or at the top?
No, I just want like the top 5 for reference of the fact that this deal was $68.7 billion and the number one sports franchise in the world, according to
All right, we're going to start at 5.
Okay. All right,
number 5, Real Madrid.
Okay.
That is a football club, as in soccer, if you're
that is
heathen.
Spanish, one of the top 3 in the world.
Valued at $4.75 billion.
Okay, so for everybody doing quick math, multiply that by 15. 15 Real Madrids.
Barcelona,
Probably another 15 of those.
4.76.
All right, so 15.3.
New York Knicks, 5.
Yeah, which that was always hysterical. I don't know why they're up there.
New York Yankees, 5.25.
Yep.
Number 1's Dallas Cowboys, 5.7 billion.
Yeah, that's like 13 and some odd change. 13 some odd change Dallas Cowboys and Yankees to get to this deal.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is absolutely insane. Trying to find one
and if
that's
all
like
cash is real, that's even funnier. Like we talked about Apple's all cash reserves at one point.
Yeah.
And at this point, whatever. Because this is just silly.
That is silly. I mean, it's silly to... I don't know. It's just insane to use... yeah, whatever. I don't know. We can just continue on. It's just probably... We're just going to keep going and going, so...
Yeah, it's just you need to understand the perspective. Because people hear that money and they go, man, that's a lot of money. And it's like, no, I don't think you understand. That is so much money in comparison to the things we just listed.
Yeah.
The biggest processor maker in the world is $28 billion less than them. That alone, that's being tested against the idea that it might become a monopoly and a non-compete issue.
Yeah.
And it's $28 million less. Sorry, $28 billion less. I used the wrong number of zeros. Let's get to some actual points. Semi-related. Bobby Kotick considered buying Kotaku and PC Gamer to control the narrative around Activision Blizzard. So hey, if you're not going to sell to Microsoft, you better try to buy the news to say that you're not a giant piece of shit.
From my understanding of the timing of events, too, this was pretty recently. So, like, fairly close to the deal.
It almost seemed like they were like, hey, can we get this and potentially not have to get bought, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Microsoft CEO of Gaming, which is still the greatest title I've ever seen. Phil Spencer said, quote, upon close, we will offer as many Activision Blizzard games as we can within Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass. Both new titles and games from Activision Blizzard's incredible catalog.
Threw that one in there for you.
I appreciate it because Game Pass. Again, you want to tell me with a straight face that Game Pass is not the greatest service that exists. I will take you out back and love you tenderly until you agree with me.
Ooh.
We're going to be there a while. Tender takes time.
It's like Taskmaster, like most awkward hug or whatever.
Special cuddle?
Yeah, special cuddle.
Yeah. Where Bob got in the
trunk
of the car.
Yeah, trunk of the car.
I've always wanted to get into the trunk. Bob, it's your car. Just do it.
So Diablo 4 maybe on Game Pass.
Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2 Game Pass.
Diablo Immortal.
Game Pass.
The next World of Warcraft. The new StarCraft.
Game Pass.
The next Call of Duty. The next Tony Hawk. The next Crash Bandicoot. The next Spyro.
I don't know. I got nothing for you.
Let me just keep listing things they have that you forgot about. The next Vikings game.
Yeah, I wonder what that means for Activision's launcher. Activision Blizzard's launcher.
Oh, Battle.net? It'll probably just stay there.
You think they'll keep Battle.net for a while?
Probably, because it would be weird. It'd be hard for them to kill it, like, fast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's for sure lasting another year and a half.
Yeah, for sure.
I could see it going longer than that, but I think it would be really weird to do that. I think they would offer them in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
Where
for a little while.
I think probably even almost permanently. where they would just go, yeah, you have both options. You know, if you want to keep it on that, but you're not going to be a part of like having to use the Xbox app, that's fine, go for it. But at the same time, you know, that'll depend on how much they truly want to like do the integration with the services.
Yeah.
Because if they're not going to put an Xbox friends list inside of Blizzard, then, or you know, inside of like the BattleNet stuff, then okay, then why would I do it? You know. In a conference call about the Activision Blizzard acquisition, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella addressed the cultural issues at the company, saying that it will require significant work. I mean, that's, yeah, if not more than that. He went on to say, quote, as CEO of Microsoft, the culture of our organization is my number one priority. This is hard work. It requires consistency, commitment, and leadership that not only talks the talk, but walks the walk. So if you're going to make a statement like that, you need to fire Bobby Kotick.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're going to talk about it more, but I feel like a lot of their statements were like, read between the lines, please. Like,
yeah, which is still terrible because just say it. Everybody wants you to say it, and you would get praised through the end of time if you had, I mean, we'll get there, but like if you had just come out and said, once this goes through, he's out of here. Yeah.
I'm wondering though, like I could very much see that, like, that it's like almost like a contractual thing. I'm wondering if,
oh, well, I mean, he probably made some horrible monkey paw deal where he was like, you're not allowed to bad talk me, but I will leave.
I mean, if you're Microsoft, then
you go, okay.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to be gone no matter what, but sure. The next one. The ABK, Activision Blizzard King, Workers Alliance commented on the news, quote, the news of Activision's acquisition by Microsoft is surprising, but does not change the goals of the ABK Workers Alliance, which makes sense.
Yeah. I think it'll be curious to see. I mean, it's that the year and a half or so it's going to take to close the deal completely.
Right.
Is going to be like some of the most awkward time stuff, I think, is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's also, I feel like you're going to have this awkward thing of like a holding pattern where a lot of these things are going to be like, we want to pursue this, but like,
yeah, like,
is it almost worth pursuing some of this stuff until everything's settled?
Yeah, like when can I start pursue, like, hey, I want to have this conversation and bring this up. Do I need to wait until we're just done doing the acquisition?
Yeah. Do I talk to you or do I talk to you?
Yeah, like I really don't want to talk to him because he's clearly done jack shit for me. Can I talk to you? Not yet. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm mark it down on the calendar. I'll be there the day after. Tangentially related to the acquisition and the above comment, Activision Blizzard's filings with the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission this week were a riot. The publisher said they were not aware of any labor strikes or significant legal proceedings against the company. Cool. So you're literally just dumbasses.
A little bit.
QA testers at Raven Software have voted to unionize with... like, hello? Maybe wake up a little bit? Have voted to... That almost just speaks to the fact that like their entire leadership is inept.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
So QA testers at Raven Software have voted to unionize with the... Hello? With the Communication Workers of America, according to a Polygon report. 78% of testers voted for unionization. A CWA rep said, quote, we ask that Activision Blizzard management respect Raven QA workers by voluntarily recognizing CWA's representation without hesitation, end quote. Activision Blizzard said they are carefully reviewing the request, but hey, we're not aware of any labor issues. Bobby Kotick has suggested the delays of Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 had more of an impact on Activision Blizzard's share price than the ongoing allegations of abuse and harassment against the publisher. Bobby also said, fuck them kids. I mean, he might as well have at this point because, actually, is it... So, this came out, this specific part, that he suggested that, which is literally saying, no, my teams are failures, not me. Okay, so you're double terrible leader.
Yeah.
Followed by devs seeing that, quote tweeting it, and saying, so when you said at an all-hands meeting, don't worry about the delays, just make a good game, you essentially said, go fuck yourself.
Classic.
And if you can't tell, I'm heated over this. I love that this is happening because I'm hopeful for the first time after like all the Blizzard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, the door hasn't hit him hard enough on the way out yet. I'm not satisfied.
I think, unfortunately, we're not going to get any satisfaction because
the only way we will is the lawsuits. Because even after this happens, they will still happen.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate side of it, though, is I don't think any of them will target him specifically.
And if they do, it won't be by enough.
Yeah. It won't cover the amount of money he's going to make from this deal, which is fine, because at this point, I feel like just leave,
where, like,
just get him out of here.
Like, you need to just go.
Yeah.
It's no longer play nice, play mean.
Yeah, just get the fuck out.
You need to leave. That's the only way we're going to fix this is if you just walk away.
Yeah.
Anyway. Activision Blizzard boss, Bobby Kotick, is reportedly expected to leave his role at the company once Microsoft's acquisition of the firm has been completed. A Microsoft spokesperson said, quote, Bobby Kotick will continue to serve as CEO of Activision Blizzard, and he and his team will maintain their focus on driving efforts to further strengthen the company's culture and accelerate business growth by clearly leaking all the shit he has. Once the deal closes, the Activision Blizzard business will report to Phil Spencer, CEO of Gaming, end quote. I know that says Microsoft Gaming, but everything else calls him the CEO of Gaming, and it's just such a good title.
Well, now it's like straight up the truth.
Are the CEO of Gaming, yeah. You're King Gamer. According to Bloomberg, Xbox boss Phil Spencer called Bobby Kotick to express how deeply troubled he was by the accusations, but also to let him know Microsoft would be willing to make an offer if the troubled company was interested in selling. Just sow those seeds, Phil. Just weave them in. Whisper sweet nothings in their ear. Things developed quickly from there, with acquisition plans forming over the course of only a couple weeks. Kotick and the Activision Blizzard board weren't going to automatically grab the first offer. Reportedly, calls were made to other potential buyers, including Facebook parent company Meta, in which Nate would have actually cried.
Yeah, I know. You kind of like your gaming life literally dodged a bullet.
Yeah, no. I literally would have walked away. That had happened, you would have just watched numbers plummet.
Can you imagine for a second?
No, I don't want to.
God damn it.
I mean, I'll do it for the sake of your comment, but I really don't want to.
Like, what would... We'll just talk about World of Warcraft. What would World of Warcraft look like a year, 2 years after
that
Meta took control of Activision Blizzard?
Your characters will all be attached with profiles, with Facebook profiles.
So you click on the character name and like you see a little thumbnail of the person's Facebook profile.
Yeah, probably. They'd probably have integration where you had to sign in with your Facebook account, like they did to Oculus.
You could like spam everything from the game onto your Facebook
page.
feed.
Yeah.
Microtransactions.
I hit you with one better.
Okay.
WoW is the one that wants to pull at my heartstrings, so I hate you for using that as the example. But it's like watching the nuke miss the world. You know, I saw it, and then I just decided to make a left turn and go hit the moon, and I'm like, I'm not that worried about that. The other one would have been Call of Duty. Can you imagine Facebook, Call of Duty, Warzone, everything? You got Doc having to deal with Facebook.
I don't even like... I can't. I really can't, because like
that's almost
the
worse.
Sheer amount of people too that play Call of Duty is like
everybody. More people play Call of Duty than almost any other game in the world.
Oh my god, I'm surprised they didn't go for it, dude. That's what's even more wild to me is that they didn't. That Meta wasn't like, yeah, we'll do that.
I have a feeling that they probably said maybe, but that the offer was just terrible comparatively.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe they're trying to lowball him because they're like, yeah, grovel at our feet. Like,
It's either that or like, honestly, we really don't want you, but I don't know, 10 billion.
it's just weird.
Sony, because of course they're affected if Microsoft does something like this. Sony stock took a big hit after the announcement, losing $20 billion in market capitalization. Also, Sony's first statement about the deal reads, quote, "We expect that Microsoft will abide by contractual agreements and continue to ensure Activision games are multi-platform." Actually, you know what? I'm just going to keep going. In a statement via Twitter, Xbox head, or aka the CEO of gaming, Phil Spencer, said, quote, "Had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry and we value our relationship."
Our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation via Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah. Or only Warzone, but when the new one comes out, you screwed.
Yeah. Screwed.
Head of Blizzard Entertainment, Mike Ibarra, aka Quick, has reiterated the company's commitment to improving its workplace culture. In a blog post, he outlined actions the company is taking as he announced that the top priority was to rebuild trust in Blizzard. Ibarra said the company is measuring its executive and management teams directly against culture improvement, adding that their success and compensation will be measured against their ability to create a safe, inclusive, and creative work environment at Blizzard. Okay, all right. Good words. He listed a whole slew of things they've done so far, mostly things we've already talked about in, the last 3 months that we've covered this. But he did also say, quote, "We also know we need to deliver content to our players on a more regular basis and innovate both in and beyond our existing games. We have some exciting things to announce, and I'll be sharing more next week." Ooh. What's Mike gonna do? I mean, I read the whole post from him.
Yep.
It's a good post. It's what you expect. It's a good PR post mixed with a good, like call to action on themselves type of post.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly read over by HR and PR stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still correct because it is. We've done this. This is where we're looking to go. Hey, we understand it. That there's game things and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I like Quick, so I'm hopeful that he's not lip servicing everybody.
Yeah.
So.
And where did he come from?
Xbox. He's going home.
Perhaps he was a early.
Was he the mole?
He was the mole, the spy.
Ah, yes, the man on the inside.
Exactly.
The call's coming from inside the house. It's also funny because I don't know if you saw it, and I might only saw it because I follow him. But Simu Liu, Legend of the Ten Rings, he tweeted, "Please save StarCraft," with like a GIF of I can't remember the character, like from StarCraft or whatever. And Mike replied to him just with a smiley face.
Interesting.
And I went, "I'm listening."
Interesting.
And everybody went, "Don't do this to me, Mike. Don't do this." From a Washington Post interview with Phil Spencer, he said, quote, "I was looking at the IP list. I mean, let's go. King's Quest? Guitar Hero? I should know this, but I think they got Hexen." Yeah, you guys know that game. Funny enough, King's Quest, which hasn't put out a new one anytime soon. But, oh yeah, that's right. Activision owned Guitar Hero. One of, at the time, biggest rhythm games ever.
Mm-hmm. Haven't seen one of those in a while.
But what if?
What if, exactly.
This holiday, the band's back together. Boys are back in town.
Is there? You know what I didn't even think about until I put this in the doc today? Was that not only the thought didn't cross my mind. I was like, all right, Microsoft Xbox has acquired Activision Blizzard.
Yep.
The thought didn't cross my mind that now they own all the IP, so Xbox studios that they already have can work on Activision Blizzard IP.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just didn't, my brain didn't make it that far yet.
Right, because, I mean, could you imagine if, I don't know, they allowed, like, Raven to make first-person StarCraft?
Yeah.
Or they took Obsidian and went, hey, do you guys want to help anybody with the game at Blizzard?
Yeah. And so it's like, oh, do you want to help write the next expansion for WoW?
Yeah.
Like,
do you want to do Diablo?
Yeah.
Do you want to just make a new IP? Fuck it.
It's just...
Oh, we have access to their archives, too. Let's go look at what Titan was and fix Overwatch. Like,
it's like,
yeah.
What the fuck is the Gears of War one? What the fuck are
I wanted to say Paradox, but it's not Paradox.
they? No, I keep wanting to say Gorilla, but that's like...
No, it's not the Collective.
No, it's Collective, isn't it?
Is it? I don't think that's right.
I think it's Collective.
I almost said the coefficient. That's just a math term. Is it the Collective?
I think it is the Collective. What? Oh, yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is like they could make like a fucking Spyro the Dragon.
Yeah. I mean, hell, if you took the
They
Gears,
have Crash Bandicoot now.
If you took the Gears team and did a StarCraft,
yeah,
a Gears StarCraft, like,
yeah, there you go. The sky's the limit now.
I mean, quite literally the moon. It just they own enough. Let's not stop at 10,000 feet up. Anyway, continuing on from that, Spencer said the Xbox team will talk with developers about working on a variety of franchises from the Activision Blizzard vaults. This isn't even counting Hearthstone, by the way. We haven't even mentioned that they own Hearthstone now.
Yeah.
Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Warcraft. Like, not even StarCraft, the Warcraft RTS they own. I'm giddy with excitement, Matt, for the next 10 years. Quote, we're hoping that we'll be able to work with them when the deal closes to make sure we have resources to work on franchises that I love from my childhood and that the teams really want to get. I'm looking forward to these conversations. I really think it's about adding resources and increasing capability. And my pocket size for all the money I get as the CEO
money.
of gaming.
All right, where do we start? Well, we already started, I guess. We've been talking about it for like fucking, I don't know, 20 minutes.
We've basically gone over everything I kind of want to go over because that's why I was just interparsing everything. Are there any questions you have for me?
Let me think about this.
As the CEO of Blizzard on this podcast.
I mean, there's just it's so groundbreaking, and there's so much that it's hard to just like narrow it down because literally the possibilities are endless. It's like, what would you? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. We genuinely think this is a good thing.
Yeah.
What are a few things that you'd like to see, I guess? Or what are a couple of your hopes?
I don't know. They're pretty just like wide spectrum things.
That's the problem. It's like hard to narrow it down.
Well, because wide spectrum, I want Bobby gone and I want the culture fixed.
Yeah.
I want them to be able to go back to making good things, and hopefully with a like Xbox guide in that direction will fix some of those issues.
I think one of the big things that I think would be a good thing, and I think it could go a long way to I'm doing air quotes, like fix the culture there, is since they own the whole entity, it would be nice to see them start to just break it up and like, you know, you see, instead of, you know, constantly being Activision Blizzard, like just break it all up and make them all have separate identities again. Like Blizzard's just Blizzard. And Activision's just Activision. You know what I mean?
Basically that, but then also I would even say take it to another step
the umpteen
of
degree, so you just have like Raven Software. You just have fucking
you are
Treyarch
Blizzard and you are the Diablo team. Go make Diablo.
Yeah.
I don't need you to do this other stuff.
Yeah.
That type of thing would be. I would hope would be good.
I wonder if they'll go like. I mean, Microsoft's so big now. I wonder if they'll go like the Embracer Group way and just start making teams.
Maybe, yeah. Or I'd even take That's one thing. I mean, I'd take seeing. I brain farted so hard. I was halfway through a thought and I lost it.
It's all right. It's a lot going on. All right. Well, let me get my theory. My pie in the sky theory out of the way real quick. So, here's the thing. They said that they were going to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
My crazy tinfoil hat, what would be kind of a neat direction, whatever you want to call it, would be, so Microsoft wants to get Game Pass on Sony. Obviously, they wanted it.
They want Game Pass. They want Game Pass everywhere.
Yeah, and we also know that the Xbox consoles have never turned a profit.
Almost, to be fair, also almost no console has ever turned a profit.
Yeah, on their own.
Yeah. Like the physical boxes themselves. When we say console, that's what we mean.
So, Microsoft Xbox holds over Sony's head all of Activision Blizzard's as exclusives, essentially, and is like, we will put these on your console, but you have to put Xbox Game Pass on PlayStation. And Sony's response should be, stop making consoles. So then you just get Microsoft, Xbox, whatever, making Xbox Game Pass, Xbox on PC Game Pass, whatever the fuck they called it, rebranded it to PC on Game Pass. They can still do their xCloud shit, so they can have their little Chromecast boondoggles whenever they come out.
I like that have they ever confirmed that, or have you and I just come up with that theory and never let it die?
I don't think it's ever been confirmed, but there was a ton of leaks about they had it in development.
Yeah, because I made the prediction at one point, and then the leaks came out that there was development. But because I think it was one of my E3 predictions was that they were going to announce the dongle.
Yep.
And then I remember them like not a couple months later being like, "Oh, there's these leaks for this thing."
Yeah.
And it was like, "What is it?"
Yeah. So then you just end up with that situation where everyone's happy. You have Game Pass on PlayStation. Sony doesn't have to compete with Xbox.
So funny though.
It'd be weird. It'd be wild. But anyways, did you remember your thing or no?
I had two things. One of them is more of a warning.
Okay.
This is going to take a year and a half. At least.
Mm-hmm.
At most this takes a year and a half. Technically it goes before that, but they're saying it'll be done by the end of fiscal 23, which for that company is June.
It'll be interesting. I think the big thing will be regulators. Whether it gets a clean pass.
Yeah. Depending on
whether
all it's more the legal stuff is what's going to just depend on how long it takes.
Yeah.
But it could be done before then. It could take all the way up until the last minute. But that's when they projected it being done.
Is fiscal year, is that June of this year or June of next year?
June of 23.
23. June of next year.
Okay. June of 23 is the end of their 23 fiscal year. So, and that's when they're predicting it to be done by. But that's like their end date. So obviously it could end tomorrow in some nightmarish theory.
Yeah.
Where they're like, and it's done. Bobby's out. See you later. Bye. Woo! And everybody's, throwing parties in the street like Brazil won the World Cup 3 times in a row in the 70s. But
obscure reference.
It's blame Paul Sinha on Taskmaster. So there's that. It's going to take time. But also, because it's going to take time, people need to realize that, like, the majority of already all the game decisions, and I'm speaking specifically of, like, Call of Duty and WoW, the more active things, this doesn't change their path. 9.2 is still on the way for whenever it was going to be out. And just because now Microsoft owns it, or, is on its way to owning it in theory, that doesn't change how the game's going to function in 9.2. That doesn't change how the next Call of Duty coming out this year, like, that's not changing that fast. They're not going to have any true input. Those games have already been too far in development to, like, make any crazy changes. Honestly, it probably doesn't even change the next WoW expansion, but it potentially could. But that's as soon as it could change anything, because it's going to take time for them to once they own it, for them to do a lot of internal overviews and go, so what's all going on?
I agree, but I'm going to play devil's advocate in a weird way right now.
I hate you.
That's fine.
I'm just making that clear before you speak.
I think there is a chance that it could happen quicker than we would expect.
Like the acquisition or the influence?
The influence.
Okay.
Just because, specifically in the Blizzard side, because of who's in charge.
I think we're semi in agreement that that's possible, but I don't think it's in total agreement with anything that's in the pipeline.
Yeah, I don't think it's likely, but I think influence might be noticed.
Unless somehow, like Overwatch 2, Diablo 4, I don't think they'll care about Immortal, and the next WoW expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Unless those timetables are all further along than I think they are, are further out than I think they are, I don't think they can get impacted that much.
I think the influence, if there is influence, would be things that would be more strategic. Like
Hearthstone's going on Game Pass in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Not really, but like that's the easiest one that gets kicked over there.
Oh yeah. I think too you'll see
I
wouldn't be surprised
it's free to play anyway, but it's going to go on there.
If Microsoft came in more with a heavy hand as far as like moving personnel and stuff like that around, just to like
I could see that, but I'm saying like on the actual like core games themselves, you won't actually see their influence or be able to point at something and go, that's a Blizzard, or that's a Microsoft thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. You won't have that true like, oh man, we're walking through the new WoW expansion. Is that a Windows logo? Like that's not gonna oh, I have to open up Word inside of.
Well, I think WoW might be one of the ones that would see the influence quicker, just because.
I think it could, but I think because of the way that WoW is developed, because you're making an expansion that you're usually having to have a whole plan around for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
The 10.0, which is the next expansion patch when it happens, could see some influence, but not. That's the earliest you could potentially see any influence.
Yeah.
9.2 and the rest of Shadowlands is not getting any influence.
Yeah.
The only thing they're going to get is if they say, all right, listen, where's 10? That's all you're going to really see.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is stop tweeting Bill Gates.
Bill
Gates doesn't work at Microsoft anymore. Bill Gates hasn't worked at Microsoft for like 8 years. Stop it. I appreciate the memes that are using his image, because he's synonymous with Microsoft. But stop tweeting the man.
Mm-hmm.
He probably woke up to the news the same anybody else did, except that his phone had 5,000 notifications on it for no reason.
Yeah.
Bill Gates is not going to drop in Warzone with you to fix it. Like, just stop tweeting him.
He might ask them to do the fucking Zork thing.
Yeah, he'll ask him to do Zork, and he'll ask if Phil Spencer can jump over a chair. But, like... Let's just, let the man be.
All right, what's something really wild that could happen now? So, like, what's like a Xbox franchise that like Blizzard could work on now?
An Xbox franchise that Blizzard could work on?
So, like, what's something crazy that if like they made it, it would be like, what the fuck? I don't know, like. Infinity Ward could make a Gears game. Yeah,
I was trying to think of anything that wasn't Gears, Halo, Forza, but I can't even think of what Microsoft has left as exclusives.
I'm trying to think of something that's like, do they have anything that's like crazy story driven?
They have Bethesda, and that's where the connection comes in.
Oh my.
The connection doesn't come in with Xbox titles. The connection comes in with the idea of Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda all
Fallout
being to work
game.
Together.
What if we got? Oh my God! What if Blizzard made an Elder Scrolls?
And they
what
own,
if Blizzard made an Elder Scrolls?
and they own Obsidian. So Obsidian, Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard have a baby. Your potential is there.
Yo, that's wild. That's wild.
It becomes the one.
Blizzard could work on Elder Scrolls Online.
Let's not. They gotta they gotta work on their own game before they go do something else.
That's
But Blizzard could do Fallout.
that would be pretty nasty.
The StarCraft studio could do old school Fallout. Obsidian could work on StarCraft. Bethesda could work on WoW.
What the fuck?
Andrew WK can perform at the beginning of the Xbox conference in June.
What if Todd Howard
And Phil Spencer
at BlizzCon
at the same time?
Todd Howard walks out on stage at BlizzCon.
Better prediction. BlizzCon doesn't exist anymore. And it is all E3 or, the Xbox showcase from here on out. And BlizzCon doesn't exist at least for another 2 years. I don't think it'll exist this year.
What would be neat is if Microsoft just starts alternating years where they do Xbox Showcase, they do BlizzCon, they do like a Bethesda thing.
QuakeCon.
Yeah, QuakeCon, thank you. And then just
there's the potential is not what can Xbox do with them, but what can they do with everything else they own.
Wait a minute.
What?
Trying to think here.
You remember the game called Sekiro?
Yes.
Remember how that's an Activision game?
Did not realize that.
It is. So take a guess who's got the second one now. Xbox.
What about... I just don't know.
There's just a lot. Battletoads. Boom. It's back. Who'd have thought? Mech Warrior. There's so much. Commander Keen at Raven Software. Crazy. Anyway.
It's just... I don't even know. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein. They could do something with Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Possibilities are endless.
Indiana Jones.
All right, we got to stop.
Right? Yeah. Bethesda got Jones, didn't they? Yeah. Because the Wolfenstein team got Jones.
All right,
because Hitman got James Bond.
Let's rip through the questionable things we can write
please,
full
I have
paragraphs
to hide
on.
this erection.
Google has pulled the plug on YouTube Originals, apparently in favor of other investment opportunities.
It's just always so funny to me when Google kills things.
Oh yeah,
because it's way after they should have already been dead.
Oh yeah. I was talking to a coworker about this, how like Google doesn't kill things they should and then kills things too quickly that they shouldn't.
Yes. Google Plus is like your exact thing, and Stadia is another great example.
Yep. Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass service now has 25 million subscribers.
for anybody that's keeping track record at home, I would put money, solid money. So it was 25 million.
Yep. 25 million as of January 21st,
2022. I will put money if they release the numbers that by December 15th of 2022, that number will be 35 or higher.
All right, there you go. Activision Blizzard confirms 37 people fired or pushed out in wake of lawsuits. The culling. The Nintendo Switch version of Life is Strange Remastered Collection has been delayed to later this year. The other versions are still releasing on February 1st. Valve has started to apply their Steam Deck Verified tag to games. That's it.
Okay.
And that's it for news stories. And they did say that the Steam Deck is still on track for, I think, February release is what they had it at.
Okay. Well, after the initial delay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's been videos and stuff leaking of games being played on it. So
Yeah. People.
God of War, I think, was the most recent one I saw.
Yeah. Some people have started to. They started. Those videos have started to exist in the wild now.
Yes.
Anyway, well, it's been 7 days. What have you been up to?
Not a whole lot. Haven't really been playing games. My computer's been set up in my living room. Haven't been using it. Put it there so Samantha could play Halo, but we really hadn't had a chance. Let's see here. I started a new book.
Ooh.
On Alexander the Great.
Of course.
I
I could have guessed one of 5 different rulers from history, but that would have been the first one.
just figured I'd get it out of the way, you know?
Yeah, like as if the next one you would read won't be the same.
No, I'll
No,
probably...
you're right. It'll be just Rome. It won't be specific. It'll be Rome.
Well, I did Caesar. I did Julius Caesar, and I did Augustus.
Or you'll go Persian. It'll be like, what is it? Not Darius.
That's a good call. That's a good
his,
call.
What's his name?
Darius?
Is it Darius?
Darius is one of them.
Yeah, the one.
Then
that,
Artaxerxes.
Yeah, the one that killed them. You know, you didn't kill him, but did kill him.
That's Darius, I believe.
Yeah,
One of the Dariuses. There's 3 of them.
the original.
Yes.
The one that he disappears or like he leaves and comes back and finds out that he's dead.
Yeah.
So then he assumes the mantle, but nobody really knows how he ends up as king.
Yeah.
But he rules for like 40 years.
Yep.
And everything's kosher and it's great. Because I think he is Darius the Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first one, yep.
Yeah, not son of Darius. I know that's not his name, but I...
Persians, man.
But which Darius king? I love that.
Yeah, that's really... I mean, I've been watching a lot of, like... I've been actually watching more Twitch than usual, just because I've been starting to follow some...
Which is interesting
sim
for you.
racers.
It's very interesting for you.
Yeah, sim racers. German guy, he's great. I love him.
What's up with you and finding Europeans on Twitch?
I don't know, man. They
'Cause
just...
What was the boat guy?
I mean, there was a couple boat guys.
Wasn't Bodie McBoatface, though, British?
Maybe.
I mean, Bodie McBoatface was a British joke because that's what the thing was for the canal. But I mean...
The World of Warships
Yeah, World
people?
of Warships guy. I'm pretty sure he was British, wasn't he?
There is one guy who I watched who was... I think he was British.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Europeans more than...
Yeah. And then
most
what
things.
else? I think that's it. Other than, life, baby stuff, all that.
Babies doing babies.
Yeah. Babies being babies and other life
Playing
things.
And I was going to say a mobile, but it's
I
not a mobile.
bit my tongue this week.
Okay.
To the point of where I had flappy flesh on my tongue.
Wow.
And I had to cut it off with a pair of mini scissors.
That's more interesting.
Yeah. So
I probably wouldn't have even done that.
yeah. Yeah, I was Samantha was totally freaked out. Totally. I literally peeled the flesh back and I was it was flapping there and I was like, what do I do with it? She's like, I don't know. I don't want to look at it. And I was like, I can't. I can feel it. It feels like there's food on my tongue.
Yeah, it just bothered you enough.
Yeah, so I was I just took scissors, little mini scissors on a pocket knife and just snipped it off. I cleaned them first.
Okay, so it wasn't that bad.
I mean, it wasn't I've talked a lot, so the tip of my tongue is a little
You're a little aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it wasn't like, and actually it was surprisingly not painful at all.
Which is the interesting part.
Yeah, and I think the reason why is because like as soon as that happened, I stuck an ice cube in my mouth.
Oh.
And then I
You just
realized
numbed
that there
yourself
was
to the point of
and then I realized that I was like, parts of my body weren't connected as they should be.
The only time I ever have like the whole skin flap thing is I've bit my tongue, but it's usually when I chunk like cheek or lip parts.
See, I'm a tip of the tongue person.
No, I usually end up like side of the mouth, like all of a sudden, and then just boop.
Those are the worst because whenever I do that, I always get a sore. Always.
Oh, okay, yeah. I usually just end up knowing that there's a flab because I just puncture a hole far enough through, and it's like, it'll heal in a while, but I'm just gonna play with it in the meantime because I'm a sick weirdo.
Yeah, we like pain. Anyways, what have you been up to?
Well, I mean, it's not even really pain; it's just kind of there. I've been playing Microsoft's WoW.
Oh, so weird.
Looking at those spreadsheets, prepping for the new expansion.
Someone on Reddit did a comment like where they strung together. They used every one of Microsoft's like Office things.
There's been an amazing amount of memes that have come out, like choose your covenant, and it's PowerPoint, Excel, Word, and
Access,
and it's like which one do you align with, and all this other stuff. And like, oh man, I can't wait for the next expansion when it's all these all these systems getting thrown in or whatever. So yeah, been playing that again. I've never stopped playing it, I guess. Back to raiding, trying to kind of get ready for the new patch and kind of look at some stuff and attempt to assert dominance in a new guild.
Seems like you're being pretty successful so far.
I think I'm successful. I mean, maybe not with the like true assertion of dominance type of thing.
Well, you're planting the seeds.
I'm starting to sow the seeds of like I know more than the rest of them.
We have the same tactics, so I'm like,
I like that we both know how to take over a small country.
You're doing fabulous.
I'm currently in the midst of leading my misinformation campaign.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You're just
so it's just of currently it's in the demonstration of knowledge phase.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you guys are talking about. I also know more than like the.
It's like it's that. I know more than you. Give me the keys.
Yeah. Swanson. When he's in Lowe's.
Yeah.
Hey, Eddie, can I help you with anything today?
I know more than you.
Okay. So yeah, it's currently that of just like talking with the officers, and there's probably like 5 or 6 others that like really know. There's a lot of them that know how to play their class, and they know how to do damage and stuff like that, but they don't know the rest of how everybody else works. So it's kind of trying to get everybody kind of used to it, whatever.
Yeah.
And it works that in my previous guild, well, yeah, in the previous single guild, I was going to say previous 2 guilds, but the first one can go fuck itself. In the last guild was I would do a lot of like coordination, and I would play every role. I'd play tank, I'd play DPS, I'd play healer during progression of like what we need to do. So I had a rough idea of kind of how everybody needed to function. So when it comes to doing it again, and like, oh, well, this isn't working or this isn't working, I was like, well, yeah, but because they can't do that, or this is the issue, or of knowing how things work in a group, or like why this doesn't work, and blah blah blah. So it slowly sowing the seeds of trust. So that's going on.
Have they are they still recruiting? Have they actively tried to recruit people, or not really? Because wasn't like your body count an issue for a little while there? Yeah,
I think that they have agreed that they have 20 for next expansion, which is the minimum number they need. Or sorry, for next patch, but I don't know. I think they have 20 like at this moment, but I'd rather they have like 25. So,
yeah, you want buffer.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know how much they're actually doing, or if they're just kind of grabbing people as we go or whatever. So there's that. The other stuff is just the show, Tomb Raider. Probably start Dazzador here because that showed up on Game Pass.
Have you been playing a lot of Tomb Raider or just kind of chipping away at it?
Chipping away. According to the save file, I'm 18%.
Okay.
But I don't know what that entails.
Yeah.
Because Tomb Raider, a lot other games,
collectibles.
A lot of collectibles. There's challenge tombs. There's everything else. So it's like I don't know what percent is where.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm decently far along. I got to be like a third.
I really wish
feel
they'd
like
give
I'm a
you
third of the way through the story because I did another tomb and I reached the like almost reveal part of the thing you do in the very beginning of the game, let blah 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 loose on the world, and I'm like right there. So I feel like I'm probably about a third of the way through, if not half.
I really wish they'd give you like a story percentage.
Yeah, give me a story bar and then give me the collectible bar. That's all I ask of you people. So there's that. And yeah, show's doing its thing. Still playing on the Yankees. And that's really it. I mean, I'm playing New Horizon, Animal Crossing, but I'm not really actively playing it. More like log in, open up my island so people can visit, and then close it and leave.
Did something come out, or is that?
Well, I mean, there was the new DLC back in like October or whatever that we talked about, but I didn't ever get it. But it was just more of a. There's been enough updates since the last time I sat down with it, so I kind of just go in, look around, go, okay, yeah, cool, and then I kind of just put it back down and go about doing the other things I'm more interested in.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm all down for logging in once a day, looking at some stuff, seeing if I want to buy it, and then let some other people show up, and then just turn it back off. Takes me about 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and I'm like, all right, sure.
Yeah.
And I can have it open just sitting at my keyboard while I'm doing other things.
It's free real estate.
Free real estate. Reading 2 books currently. I finished the first Witcher book, so that's out of the way. Still reading Center Stage by Michael Kay, which is just like a recount of all his interviews. I'm maybe a third of the way through it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I never watched the show. But as I'm reading the book, I'm like, maybe I should have.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a lot of cool interviews and like, just kind of reading back through them. But I think I almost like being able to just kind of like read through it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's quicker for me.
Yeah.
Where I'm not usually huge into the interview show, but I like reading the interviews, and they're done well, and they're insightful and everything like that. So, shout out to Michael Kay. Good book. The other book I'm reading is, God, what did I tell you it was called? Dragon's Odyssey? Maybe that's what it is. It's the one I'm listening to on the to and fro from work currently. It's a 3-book compendium of a story of like magic users once existed, then they disappeared or were thought to have disappeared, and the rest of the world advanced of like guns and everything else, but now one showed back up.
I remember this now.
Yeah, one showed back up and is kind of dealing with that. So we're still in a lot of the building phase of like what's going on. So there's that. That's my listen to and from work. And I sorted all my cards. So that was the other thing I did. A lot of baseball cards, some Pokemon cards, some Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Ooh.
Got back the graded cards that I sent out, or the cards I sent out to get graded. Came back finally. 3 of them got grades that I did not expect at all. Mostly because when I sent them, they looked to me to be not great, but they came back higher than I thought, so I'll take that victory lap. Probably won't grade for a while, just because the service time is so bad. Took all my old Archie comics, sealed those up, put those in a box. Good old sturdy box versus what they were in, and they're now at least protected, even if they do look like shit. And so, yeah. Just a lot of life things, you know. Switched out a cable modem for a new cable modem. That's getting programmed at some point. That Raspberry Pi is currently running, doing a network stuff for me.
A little home labs.
Not true home lab, more just, some other stuff, messing with
Would you go with Pi-hole?
No, it's running a network monitoring system called NEMS.
Okay.
So that's doing that. Just kind of doing some the last 2 weekends have been projects that I've been like meaning to do, but I've been kind of putting off for things. Dash cams in.
That's like my State of being.
Yep. Put the dash
Projects.
cam in today. Got to test it out by actually driving sometime this weekend and see if it records and everything. But the card sorting one was a big one for me because I needed to go like reevaluate like what value was and what things need to get stored in a like fireproof case versus not. So yeah, it was a fun time. And I just sat in here and turned football on, watched football playoffs, and sorted cards.
Yeah.
Hurt my back at a certain point, but that's just because of being hunched over for so long.
Gotta sit on the floor and stick your legs through the coffee table.
I debated trying to figure something out, but if I do that, I'll hurt my ass, which is worse than me hurting my back because I broke my ass.
Okay. All right.
You know that, right? I fell down those stairs. You don't know that?
No.
I never told you this.
Broke your butt.
My senior year, I mean, it's, I guess, technically my spine, but my senior year of high school, 5 days before I was supposed to walk graduation, I went to do laundry. So I was carrying a hamper down, or a laundry basket from my room at the time on that floor.
Mm-hmm.
And you know those stairs.
Yeah, they're a little steeper than normal.
I ate shit.
Mm-hmm.
First step, my foot gave out. I was wearing socks that were slippery. Feet gone. I rode down them, just bouncing on my ass like on a trampoline, essentially. Didn't roll or anything, just landed feet up. I stood up. I was like, okay, that hurts. That hurts, all right. Yeah. So then I walked down this hallway, turned and fell onto the bed that was now in the master. Because I was in pain.
Yeah.
Nobody else is home, by the way. I'm the only one here.
Classic.
Called my dad, who I'm like, it should be roughly on his way home or whatever. Like, hey, how far out are you? He's like, oh, probably 15 minutes. So why? You need anything? I was like, no, I'll just see when you get here. Hanging that up. Get myself back off the bed because I was just laying on my back on that bed. So I basically kind of just like threw myself back up because I couldn't bend the right way. Went down the next set of stairs. Got to the freezer, which is not the one it currently is.
Okay.
The one that was in there before was a fridge on top, freezer bottom.
Okay.
And so I bent over to open up the freezer because I was like, I need a Tylenol and I need an ice pack.
Yeah.
So I bent over to grab the ice pack. I saw it. I grabbed it. I looked. I stood up. Everything went white. Everything went black, and I hit the floor. And I came to with the chair that's currently at the top of the stairs here, that like one with the metal legs on it and everything, about as far away from my face as the microphone is.
Oh, nice.
Laying on I turn around, like I'm laying face down at this point on the kitchen floor. I turn around to see that the freezer's still wide open. I slide myself over on my stomach and just shut that, put the ice pack right, like lower back. And I'm just laying there. Dad walks in, and I'm on the floor in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's different. Now, mind you, my dad has found me sleeping anywhere.
Yeah.
I've slept in the weirdest places. Because at the time, and I can still kind of do it now, you fall asleep anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I'm laying on the kitchen floor. Obviously, different spots to choose to sleep. And I was like, oh, I can't move. Like, I can army crawl around, but, like, I can't get up. He's like, are you sure? And I was like, I think so. I mean, it hurts. So, my mother's going to hate this story. So we call her because it's right about 5 o'clock. So without the only option really is to like emergency room if I needed to, because everywhere else is going to be closed at that point. And she's like, well, can you get up? And so I roll over onto my back, have a pillow like underneath me, so I'm not sitting right on that. I could get to my knees. I couldn't get any further because the moment I went to go, it just shot pain straight through me. I was just like, son of a bitch. So I rolled back over onto my stomach, army crawled my way into the living room, grabbed the back of the couch and like lifted one leg up and just pulled myself up onto the couch. And that became my home until the next day where I went down to the doctor and they did x-rays and I broke my sacrum, which is the bone above your tailbone.
Okay.
And so it went from like this to this.
Awesome.
And they're like, don't do anything for 6 weeks. was like, great. But they're like, also, we can't really do anything.
Yeah.
So they gave me drugs, I think. I don't remember. I can't remember if it was those drugs or if it was... There was a time I did get my body, like, was not happy with one of the drugs. I can't remember if it was wisdom teeth or that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was wisdom teeth. Yeah, I think it was wisdom teeth. That I had... I don't know. What's a powerful painkiller?
I mean, there's...
Codeine?
Codeine?
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember what it was. But basically, it was great. It killed all the pain.
Oxycontins are one of them.
It might have been that. But I don't remember what it was. But basically, I had it only for like 2 days at not my controlled intervals. Like, was given to me at very specific times of like, no, you're not taking too much of this.
Yeah.
And on the day that we decided, all right, like 2 days after surgery or something, like, okay, you're not taking any more of it because you should be, fine now. I had like the worst sickness that I had, but it was because my body basically got addicted to it.
Yeah.
But then I was over that, and I've never had that issue again. But yeah, so don't do anything for 6 weeks. Hey, you broke your fucking spine.
Nice.
5 days before you're supposed to walk graduation. Good
Awesome.
job, you dumbass. All because I wanted to do my own laundry. What's wrong with the women in this world? You know what I mean? Why they gotta injure me like that?
See, that's why laundry is the devil. It tries to kill you.
Yeah. So that's my I broke my backstory. So that was all that. It doesn't hurt me much, especially anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I would experience it during ad setup.
Okay.
Of the constant up and down for doing those,
Yeah.
or I would have to be careful during scans.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
But if I sit uncomfortable, like this is fine. But if I sit like this for too long, it pain.
Interesting.
And if I sit on a hard surface of doing nothing for too long, it'll end up aggravating too. So it's about just kind of being careful of how I do things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun time. I tried to throw a football like 5 days after it happened. Because I knew I couldn't walk great. Like I was very ginger of like walking.
Yeah. Don't realize how much you use of those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How much you use that part of your body.
Yeah.
And even getting in it, so, you gotta go use the bathroom, right?
Yeah, see, like, I'm thinking of, like, literally you're fucked. Because, like, everything you do requires... Like, that's essentially a part of your core.
It very much is a part of your core. And getting in and out of a car was very much like I almost had to drop myself in. Because if I went slower, I would potentially reach a point where I was like, no, this is too much. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Getting in and out, like up and off of the couch, I almost had to, from a laying down stomach position, basically swing myself. So at the same time as my legs were going out, I was coming up. So I would be sitting like I am now, and then put my hands out and have somebody like hold on to the other side of me and basically pull me up.
Yep.
And then after a couple days, it got okay where I could move myself up and down. I just had to be careful about how I did it.
And use more of your arms than anything else.
Yeah, arms, and even in your legs, it was just more like you have to keep your core very rigid.
Yeah.
Because if you let it flail, it's going to be bad. So I tried to throw a football.
Yeah, just the thought of like your hips moving,
so I was out like talking with people. They're throwing a football around. I'm just kind of talking, and they throw to me, and I could catch it. That was fine. And I went to throw it, and I felt the little like twinge, and I was like, ha. And then I caught it, and I threw it one more time, and I felt it again. I was like, nah, I can't do that again. Yeah. I was like, no, it's not. And it wasn't like the real pain, but it was just that like that wire string pull where you're like, if I do this again, there's a solid chance that goes, and I am in a shitload of hurt.
Yeah. So
it's just like, yep, nope, never mind. I am just walking around like a baby for the rest of this time.
Big old baby.
Mom wanted to put a donut on my chair in graduation, and I refused. I was like, I'm not having the one, because I was sitting on a donut at home. But I was like, I am not having a donut on my chair at graduation. Like, why? And I was like, I'm not being the one person, I'm not having the weird chair. No, get out of here.
That's hilarious.
So I took more Tylenol than she would have ever been happy with. I think I took 3, which, it's not that crazy, but it's not. You're supposed to take, I think, 2 at most or whatever. And I took 3. and I felt fine and got through graduation. But then it was like, you're injured, you stupid bitch. All because you want to do laundry.
Moral of the story is don't do laundry.
Yep. That's what I've learned. Now I just Febreze a pile of clothes and pick off the top.
Yep. When it gets too bad, you throw it out, buy something new.
Exactly. I got time for laundry. I'm going to sell my washing machine and dryer. I don't use them anymore.
There you go.
Yeah. Free money. It's free real estate.
Or just don't wear clothes.
Unfortunately, work would be unhappy with me, and it's also very cold. I'd look like a Ken doll, but not attractive. Does that make sense? You get what I'm getting at there?
Yeah.
Smooth undercarriage.
Yeah, smooth undercarriage.
Yeah. Okay, we've gone on too long about random shit. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.